A new trailer for Ahsoka reveals a better look at the bad guys and hints at even more Star Wars Rebels Easter eggs than you expected. Let's break it down. There's no light without the dark, as Star Wars reminds us time and time again. Sure enough, the Ahsoka trailer offers a better look at the late great Ray Stevenson as Baylan Skoll, a former Jedi turned wielder of the dark side, and his apprentice Shin Hati. No doubt, the pair will end up fighting Ahsoka one-on-one at some point in the series. What's more, this new trailer confirms they're also in cahoots with Morgan Elsbeth, the former Imperial Magistrate and loyal servant to the big bad on Star Wars Rebels, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Ahsoka, as you may recall, bested Morgan in combat on The Mandalorian and demanded that she reveal where Thrawn has been chilling since the Galactic Empire fell. As it turns out, though, Morgan might not entirely know the answer to that question herself, as we see her, Baylan, and Shin using a holographic star map to apparently locate Thrawn during the trailer.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
Anyone who's never seen Star Wars Rebels may find themselves thoroughly lost by the time they're done watching the newest Ahsoka trailer, given the sheer number of characters who pop up along the way. There's the Twi'lek rebel pilot, Heir, who's shown here flying her ship, the Ghost, headfirst into danger with her lovable, chaotic good astromech droid, Chopper, in tow. We also see her warning members of the New Republic of the imminent threat posed by the remaining Imperial forces, picking up a key story thread introduced in The Mandalorian Season 3 involving Moff Gideon and the other members of the Shadow Council. The other two former members of the Ghost's crew and major Rebels players seen here are the Mandalorian warrior Sabine Wren and a small hologram of the young Jedi in training Ezra Bridger. Ezra has been MIA since the Rebels finale, which concluded with a scene showing Sabine and Ahsoka meeting up after the Battle of Endor to set out and hopefully find him at long last. As for the final, still-living Rebels hero, Garazeb Zeb Aurelios, he's nowhere to be seen in this trailer. Of course, we recently caught up with the Lasset Rebel turned New Republic pilot during The Mandalorian Season 3, so odds are he'll show up to reunite with the rest of the Rebels gang at some point in Ahsoka itself. Remember that whole thing about Ahsoka and Sabine teaming up at the end of Star Wars Rebels to locate Ezra? Well, it's clear the pair had some kind of fallout after that. Ahsoka says at one point in the trailer,
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
Sabine is seen surveying what's almost certainly Lothal, the Outer Rim planet where Sabine, Ezra, and the rest of their found family first met up. It's an image that perfectly homages a nearly identical visual from Rebels. More intriguingly, it appears Ahsoka took on Sabine as her apprentice before their parting of the ways, with Sabine tersely referring to the former as Master. It's little wonder things didn't work out for the two, given the residual guilt and emotional trauma Ahsoka is obviously still struggling to process over what happened to Anakin after she quit the Jedi Order.
I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
No doubt, that internal conflict will heavily inform Ahsoka's arc on the series, presumably spurring her to resume training Sabine. She'll need the guidance for sure, as we eventually see Sabine waging a full-blown lightsaber duel with Shin. Grand Admiral Thrawn was teased on The Mandalorian, and technically appeared in the first Ahsoka trailer, although he was only shown from the back. This new trailer, on the other hand, shows the Chiss ex-Imperial and Master Strategist in all his red-eyed, blue-skinned glory. Rebels voice actor Lars Mikkelsen is returning to play the character in live action too, and he looks more or less like his animated counterpart did. But what is Thrawn's secret plan anyway? The character being referred to as the heir to the Empire in the Ahsoka trailers is at the bare minimum a nod to Timothy Zahn's novel trilogy of the same name that introduced Thrawn in the no longer canonical Star Wars expanded universe. Then again, it could be a tease of how, precisely, Thrawn intends to strike back at the New Republic, with the show potentially lifting certain plot points directly from Zahn's books. The Mandalorian Season 3 already hinted as much, suggesting that the remains of the Empire are not only amassing their forces, but may be working on something involving cloning. For as much plot as the Ahsoka trailer covers, there's also just a lot of scattering of Easter eggs for Star Wars animation fans to lap up like catnip as they await the show's premiere, along with a glimpse at the mural of the Ghost's crew featured in the Star Wars Rebels finale's epilogue. The trailer shows Sabine trimming her hair to the same length that it was on Rebels. It seems to be a largely symbolic act that speaks to her renewed commitment to tracking down Ezra and defeating Thrawn, but it's a fun nod for Rebels fans all the same. Then there are the smaller details that also showed up in past Ahsoka trailers and TV spots, including a hologram of Mon Mothma, who's now serving as the Chancellor of the New Republic. Then there's David Tennant as the voice of Hu Yang, the lightsaber-building droid he previously voiced on the Clone Wars, along with a closing shot of what looks like an Inquisitor from Rebels, utilizing one of their trademark spinning lightsaber weapons. Last, but certainly not least, there's a glimpse of what looks to be a Purrgil, one of the whale-like space creatures that pulled Ezra and Thrawn's ship into hyperspace during the climax of the Rebels series finale. Could Ezra himself be nearby in this scene? And where did Thrawn flee to after untangling himself from that mess? All such matters will be brought to the light when Ahsoka premieres on Disney Plus on August 23, 2023.